Eli5 How does falling through things like a table break your fall and makes the fall less damaging? Because if you fall through a table, some of your kinetic energy goes into breaking the table. If you fall onto a concrete floor, almost all of your kinetic energy goes into bridge acking you. The table slows you down, so you have a lot less momentum when you get to the ground. And #X200B. A bit like falling on a crash mat versus directly onto the floor. If you slow down gradually rather than suddenly, the impact has less force. When you fall through something, it reduces your speed and energy. The object takes some of the hit, and thus you are hit with two softer strikes. One's through the object and a second time when you hit the floor. The damage you take from falling is based on the speed with which you strike the ground and your weight. Going from 10 miles per hour to 0 mph causes damage, but if you go through a table or are otherwise slowed down, you hit the ground and go from 5 miles per hour to 0. The energy that was used up breaking the table is not there, is help hurt you when you hit the ground is another way of looking at it. The force the table can exert on you is generally less than the force the floor can exert on you. So some of the energy goes into breaking the table that would otherwise have gone into breaking you. Energy is force multiplied by distance. The greater the distance over which you decelerate, the less force it takes. When an object falls with enough speed and weight for things to break, the specific thing that breaks doesn't matter as long as something breaks. Newton's law of breakiness. If you break other things along the way before hitting the ground, there are fewer things that must break when you hit the ground, including yourself. This is a rule that we all must agree to follow, so that the Earth doesn't fly into the sun and melt all of our ice cream sandwiches. Fall doesn't kill you. The abrupt stop does. If you fall on something that gives, i.e. a table or bush, it slows your fall to a stop. By the same token, it's why martial artists can break boards and bricks without hurting themselves. Put enough energy into a punch and it all goes into breaking the thing. If you don't hit it hard enough, the thing doesn't break and all the energy is absorbed by your hand, which hurts rather significantly. Do or do not. There is no try. When you fall, the thing that hurts you is the sudden stop. Anything that slows you down and absorbs the force before you finally stop will help prevent damage. It's the same reason modern cars are designed with crumple points. The crumple points slow your car down before it finally stops dead, just like a table would if you fall through it. Eli5 Answer. You split the fall into two smaller falls. You hit the table and slow down. Then you hit the ground at slower speed. Instead of one big bang, you get two smaller. Watch a wrestling match where they fall through a table versus hitting the concrete floor on the outside of the ring, and you will be able to tell really quickly. The table helps. https://u2.be/entric9ezigzo. When you hit something that breaks, it slows you down without stopping you completely. So you are going slower when you hit the ground. It is usually less dangerous to take two smaller impacts than one big one. The table is higher than the ground is, so if your falling path is going to the ground, but got interrupted, broken by a table first, you won't have gained as much speed, 'cause you haven't fallen as far. The ground is farther away from your head compared to the tabletop. You thus impact the table with less force than you would the ground. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe for more content.